From the DMZ to the NATO front, this is CRN.
Hello, and welcome to the Kershner Files. Well, hello, and welcome to episode 9 of the Kershner Files. I am your host, coming to you from the Augusta Precious Metals Studios. We are fully ensconced in week 142 of the illegitimate, fraudulently elected ding-dong's tyrannical reign. We have 390 days to the next election. Oh, we got, it'll be difficult to keep this preparedness centric due to recent events with Hamas launching an attack against Israel. And I found some interesting links on the Survival blog over the weekend and early part of this week, and they take you to different sites where people, especially people in Israel, are actually questioning how this could have happened, because a lot of they're Israel. You have to serve in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, if you are going to reside in Israel. I think there are some exceptions to the rule, but by and large, if you're a citizen of Israel, you have to serve. And a lot of these people are putting out messages on X or Instagram or TikTok or wherever, and they're questioning how these attacks could have happened because of the way that the IDF is set up. They're literally staring at the border all the time, and we're getting all kinds of news reports that they're trying to figure out how they got across the border, and then they go into some of these secure areas and these little forward operating bases, and they find everybody's dead and they've all been killed in their bunks. So how did those people get killed without being seen coming across the border? They're saying that there's so much surveillance on these border regions that it's unfathomable how a tractor breached the gate and just drove across, and the Hamas terrorists were dressed as police officers, and they blocked roads only to get a big crowd together and then mow them all down with AK fire. So a new report came out this morning that the IDF forces found a house or a warehouse where kidnapped victims had been held, and they found over 40 children and babies had been murdered. Some had had their heads cut off. I mean, this is sickening. And I can't help but wonder, is this the next shoe to drop, the next domino to fall? Because they were, the printing presses for kickbacks and income and wealth generation that was Ukraine is no longer in the news. Neither's Hunter, neither's his father. I even made a list. Hunter, his father, Ukraine, the Speaker of the House discussion, the entirety of the Biden crime family, the illegal immigration invasion, and anything dealing with the horrible economy and inflation. None of those things are at the top of the fold. None of those things are kicking off the evening news. None of those things are really playing a major role in the 24-hour news cycle. So, job well done, Biden family. But and who else can you point a finger at except Biden, who paid $6 billion basically in ransom to a terrorist regime known as Iran, who is fundamentally backing Hamas. What did you think was going to happen? I actually called it on my show 2 weeks ago when, on the day of September 11th, Biden released $6 billion. And of course now he's got, his lackeys are coming out saying, well, we're watching that account. They haven't made a single withdrawal for that account. And when they do, they have to prove that it's for humanitarian aid, medical supplies, food, things like that. They haven't made a single withdrawal. Really? You don't think they took a loan out on that account? Biden did this. Biden funded this. I firmly believe that. Hamas is a bunch of terrorists. They're up there with Al-Qaeda and all those other crazy loons that have basically weaponized their religion to kill anybody and anything that is an infidel that doesn't believe what they believe. So it's crazy what's going on. So we'll talk more about that on the weekend show as more news and event details come out. So I want to keep this more preparedness focused, but I wanted you to know that, yeah, I'm paying attention. I saw this, and I mean, I'm sickened by it, all of it. It's disgusting what these people are doing. You know, but I don't understand why they would have a music festival so close to the security border with the Gaza Strip that was well within rocket fire range. Why would they have a music festival for peace right there? That seems a bit odd to me. But anyway, I got some news and announcements. So I got an email from Buckeye Valley Beef Cooperative. They're offering the Crocktober box for basically $100. It includes one chuck roast. These are 2 to 3 pounds each. So a chuck roast, shoulder roast, rump roast. You get one of those each. Then you get 2 1-pound packages of 85-15 ground beef. You get a package with 4 per pack of cube steak, and you get a soup bone for asabuco. So that's $100, and that's what they're offering for October. So if you're in and around Ohio, check out the Buckeye Valley Beef Cooperative and maybe order the Crocktober box. There is a Showmasters Gun Show outside of Pittsburgh this weekend in the Monroe Convention Center at 209 Mall Boulevard in Monroe, PA. Exit 57 off of I-76 there. And they're going to be running from 9 to 5 on Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. So if you're in the area and you're in the market, as it were, go maybe check out this Showmasters Gun Show. Let's see, what else? Oh, I got my weekly email from Survival Realty. There's a couple of them here. There's a lot. It's barely a third of an acre in Darby, Montana for $175,000. There's an underground home in Weatherford, Texas for $500,000. It says this 3-bedroom, 3-bath home in Parker County is nestled in just over 2 acres with its own water well. There's an atrium in the center of the home that not only adds unique beauty, but wonderful natural light as well. Open kitchen and dining area, yada yada. I'll tell you about it, but I don't know why anybody would want to go there, but maybe this is something that appeals to you. There is a 70 plus or minus lot 70 acre plus or minus lot subdivision with an additional 1 or 2 acre lots for a total of 15 plus or minus. I don't understand I don't know. Anyway, it's 45 minutes from Vegas, and it's $5.9 million in Clark County, Nevada. There's a multi-generational homestead fully supplied with solar, minutes from downtown and beaches in St. Augustine, Florida. That's $1.125 million. There's 50 acres of off-grid living with 360-degree views in New Mexico for $800,000 in Los Cerrillos, New Mexico. There's a 10-acre family compound in Central Virginia for $4.25 million. There's an off-grid self-sufficient home in Connor, Montana for $529,000. And what else? Oh, unique mountain property surrounded by national forest in Hamilton, Montana for $3.2 million. That's 32 acres. 21.7 acres in northeast Tennessee near Tazewell, Tennessee. There's an additional 100 acres available, but the 21.7 acres is up for sale for $700,000. There's 5 acres backing thousands of acres of U.S. government land in Sagal, Idaho for $135,000. So that's your update from Survival Realty. And I've been reading a lot and getting a lot of information about deodorant. And there's a couple things in my book, Home Remedies, Poultices, Salves, and Tinctures, about different DIY deodorants and things like that. And what I had been using for years and years and years was an aerosol right guard. And I started reading about aluminum and other products in deodorant. And so recently I switched and I got a new deodorant, and I made sure, and I did a bunch of research, and I did a basic web search for aluminum-free deodorant. And so Sasquatch has got some stuff out there, Dr. Squatch or whatever, Old Spice, Dove's got one out there, Degree's got one out there, Axe has another one. But I found in my local grocery store, I found it's an Old Spice Gentleman's Blend. It has 0 aluminum, parabens, or dyes, and it's lavender and mint scent. So this is what it looks like. And a lot of these nowadays, it'll tell you on the bottle or on the container if it's aluminum free. It'll now it's got a little bar on there that has the lettering on there that says aluminum free. So I don't know, I just thought I'd share that with you. It's only been a couple days, so I'm hoping that you know, I feel a bit of a difference, and my body can get rid of some of those toxins that I had been putting in for so many years with the aerosol deodorant. So those are my updates of sorts. We definitely will be talking about Hamas's attack on Israel in the weekend show and during the lightning round. I want to get some more information on that. So that's it. That's my update. So let's get to some topics. All right. So knowing that I had just said I'm going to cover these things during the weekend show, I did find an article that came out on Ask a Prepper. Came out on September 28th. It was written by Fergus Mason, and it's an article called or titled "The Calm Before the Storm: What's Coming Next." And it's an interesting read, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this in during the weekend show as it builds into the Israeli attack. So I just wanted to tell you that. But I did find another interesting article which goes to preparedness and goes to the distrust that a lot of us have toward Congress and some of the federal agencies, particularly this White House. And this is an article titled, "The NSA Announces New AI Security Center. Desperately Needed." And I'm thinking to myself, they already have the Patriot Act. They're already spying on us at every turn, whether it's our phone calls, our text messages, our emails. They're already spying on us. And now the NSA is going to go and build themselves an AI security center. Now, they won't tell me where, but they're telling me that the new security center launches as the U.S. government has increased its use of algorithms and AI systems in defense and intelligence, and is seeking to safeguard systems from theft or sabotage. The NSA Center will also be responsible for protecting the homeland from external AI-related threats, according to a report from Yahoo News on Monday. Well, this article came out on October 3rd, so I'm a little late on that. Army General Paul Nagasone, NSA director, told the Associated Press that the new center could be incorporated into the NSA's existing Cybersecurity Collaboration Center, which works with the private sector and internal partners to strengthen U.S. defenses from near-peer rivals such as China and Russia. And my thought on this is private sector partners. So who are the private sector partners? I mean, I really hope it's not BlackRock and Vanguard and some Soros-funded Yahoo cabal. I already feel like they're being like we're being surveilled at every turn. I'm sure between the books I've written and my 2 podcasts, I got a file somewhere. They're just waiting for me to screw up. But you should know that the NSA is going to build a new AI security center as part of their existing cybersecurity collaboration center. And I just thought, I just don't trust them. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. They have exhausted every ounce of trust that people like me, I used to trust them explicitly. Now I get all kinds of videos about whether or not it was an actual airplane that hit the Pentagon. Maybe it was a cruise missile. And if so, what happened to American Airlines Flight 77? Last reported radar contact was when it crossed the Kentucky border. Do you know how far that is to get from D.C. to the Kentucky border and then turn back around? This is the kind of stuff I'm being inundated with. You know, I didn't think of myself to be that far out there with conspiracy theories, but this one's starting to take the cake, man. Now the NSA, presumably under the auspices of the Patriot Act, they're going to spy on us some more, and now they're going to use AI to help them do it. That's just me. Moving on.
If you're like me, you've wanted to buy gold for years. Lots of commercials out there. But who can you really trust? I didn't want a bad investment, but I didn't want to miss the boat either. Sound familiar? Fortunately, I've got great news. If you have an IRA or 401k and want to buy physical gold, eliminate fear and uncertainty from the process using the new Gold IRA Company Integrity Checklist. It helps you evaluate and choose the best gold IRA company. I used it to personally vet Augusta Precious Metals, and they're absolutely phenomenal. Use this checklist to choose the best gold IRA company. To get your free Gold IRA Company Integrity Checklist today, text CONTRA to 68592. Again, text CONTRA to 68592. That's CONTRA to 68592. Or go to AugustaPreciousMetals.com.
Here's something that I want to play for you that I was unaware of. And this came up in my Instagram feed. And so, let's just go ahead and let you guys take a listen to this.
And started shutting them down. And so we're kind of in this crazy reinterpretation phase of the EPA, where somehow, and this logic is so bent I don't quite understand it, but because of the threat of COVID-19 being in the water, they want to make water filters that remove virus unavailable to the American people, and that's kind of where we stand.
So Jim Shepard, owner of Berkey, says that the EPA is forcing them, the Berkey company, to be listed as a pesticide because apparently pathogens are a pest, and the silver in the filters of the Berkey water filters kills those pests and therefore is a pesticide. So they want to make sure that because COVID is in the water supply, that Berkey Waters cannot remove it from the water supply. Why would an agency prevent that from happening?
So, you heard it right. The EPA is actually telling Berkey that because your water filters prohibit COVID-19 in water sources from being able to be drank by customers of Berkey. Because they're stopping COVID with their filters, they have to now classify their filters as pesticides. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, what? What's going on here? I did a basic web search for Berkey filters sues EPA, and sure enough, I got taken straight to the Berkey Water Filter site, and there is a page there. They're Berkey Water Filters, or bigberkeywaterfilters.com/blog. It's their blog page, and it's a statement from them announcing a lawsuit against the EPA. And it starts off with saying, New Millennium Concepts Limited and the James B. Shepard Trust, the brand owner of Berkey Water Systems, filed a lawsuit against the EPA this week seeking to stop its unjustified treatment and perceived persecution of Berkey Water Filters based on the EPA's decision this year to treat Berkey Water Filters as though they are pesticides rather than water filters. For more than a quarter century, Berkey has provided water filters to the public, providing an effective, economical means of removing harmful contaminants from freshwater sources for consumers to have clean water at home or on the go. In fact, an entire generation has grown up with a Berkey filter in their kitchen. If the EPA wants to regulate gravity-fed mechanical water filters, it has a process to follow at the very least. Berkey's filters have never caused any harm to anyone, and the removal of Berkey filters from the market inexorably means that Berkey owners will not be able to replace the filters in their systems, and therefore the demand will be met with untested knockoff and counterfeit filters that claim to be replacements that provide the same benefits when in fact they do not. So that paragraph actually made me curious, so I went and played around on the Berkey website. And sure enough, every single one of their filters is now out of stock. And my assumption is that customers of the big Berkey water systems have stocked up and bought every single one that they had available in their warehouse. So I went to a page that basically it's like it gives you information and tells you which system's best for you. And of their products, their water filter systems, they have the Travel Berkey, Big Berkey, Berkey Light, Royal Berkey, Imperial Berkey, Crown Berkey. And the Travel Berkey is for 1 to 3 people. The tank can hold 1.5 gallons. The max number of filters in there is 2. And then they have something here called a flow rate, which is gallons per hour at full expansion. So what that means is full expansion flow rate is a disaster rating and based upon keeping the upper chamber full of water consistently. So you're basically leaving the spigot open and draining that water out and just constantly filling the upper hopper. So the Travel Berkey can have a flow rate of 2 3/4 gallons per hour, while the upper end of their systems, the Crown Berkey, is for 8 to 12 plus people. It can hold 6 gallons in the lower chamber. It has 8 filters in there, and its flow rate is 26 gallons per hour. So that's an astonishing amount of water that it's able to deal with. But all of their filters are out of stock, and Berkey is now suing the EPA. And it goes in to explain that basically because their filters contain silver is part of their logic. I'll put the page in my show notes so you can go read their full statement. But basically the EPA Region 8 is going after Berkey because their water filtration systems removes a virus and therefore should be registered as a pesticide. I don't know who these people are. I don't know why they've now reinterpreted these things other than they're going after companies because they don't want us to have clean drinking water. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no logic to it. It's completely off base. But it's part and parcel to what this regime is doing nowadays. I got one more. And so this one is how to make a full income on your homestead. So a lot of people have this grand vision. I'm going to buy some land. I'm going to work the land. I'm going to can and jar everything. And I'm going to, you know, live off the land. I'm going to be off grid. And, you know, a lot of people just can't pull it off because they don't have the knowledge or the experience. So what this article aims to address is helping people make that transition from, say, my suburban home to my new plot of land, and how to keep income generated so that I can continue to pay for things like I need a well drilled, or I need footers installed, I need all the lumber delivered to the job site so I can build my home, or, you know, and solar panels, or a wind turbine, or, you know, livestock, grain, whatever it is. Okay, this article aims to kind of help with that transition from suburban city life, you know, downtown condo, to open air and land and self-sufficiency. So this article is from Self-Sufficient Product. I say it wrong every time. Self-Sufficient Projects, and it's titled How to Make a Full Income on Your Homestead. And they give you a couple options or suggestions. You can make money in a variety of ways. They say you can do it by selling duck or chicken eggs, selling dairy products, selling mushrooms. There are a number of high-end restaurants that will pay a pretty penny for mushrooms. So if you have a lot of forested land, you can actually plant spores into downed logs, and where there's a lot of canopy, you don't get a lot of shade, or I'm sorry, you don't get a lot of sunlight. You can actually create your own, and you can have actual buildings with just dirt and just grow your own, and that could be a viable business right there. You can make money selling fruits and vegetables. You can sell foraged goods, so you can not just wild mushrooms and morels and chanterelle and stuff like that. You can go find other things like truffles, and you can rent out your land. So when you first get there, obviously you have a list of prioritized things that you need to do, like shelter is usually a good one. It's usually at the top of the list, followed closely by water and some form of electricity to either charge batteries for your drills and saws, or to run some outlets for lighting, whatever the case may be. You can rent out your land to nearby farmers. They'll work the land with their own equipment, and they'll pay you to do it. What else? You can make homemade preserves, and you can sell livestock that are, you know, heritage poultry type items, or goats or sheep or pigs, or, you know, beef, like Buckeye Valley Beef Cooperative is doing. There's a number of farmers that got together, basically like Omaha Steaks, and so they're trying to do that too. You can do ducks and turkeys and geese. You know, it just depends on what you want to raise, what you're comfortable raising. So there are ways to make money on your homestead at the minute you start, the minute you sign the paperwork and you take ownership and you take that property on. You can start making money at a minimum just by renting out your land to some of the tillable acreage for the farmers nearby. So that's something that you can think about doing. All right. It's kind of a weird show, kind of all over the place, but that's the show. We've got some announcements. We've got some, you know, new listings from Survival Realty. We've got a Pittsburgh gun show. I went with aluminum-free deodorant. I think that because there was so many eyeballs on Ukraine, something had to get started up somewhere else. So Israel was the next target. Israel's taking no prisoners. They're like, no, if we find a terrorist, we're going to kill him. And there was no ambiguity in the statements from the Israeli government and what the orders were to the IDF. We find a terrorist, we're going to kill him. no, there's no, we're taking them in for questioning. No, they're done. They're done playing. So, strange. It's going to be, I don't want to say strange, or it's going to be interesting. No, it's not even that. There's going to be some barbarism out that way. There's going to be some killing, and Israel has had enough of being the punching bag. But a number of people that have served in the IDF are asking questions about the Iron Dome not working. They're asking questions about their surveillance at the border. And so I wanted to give it the full week before I really got into this topic to talk about all the different things that I was seeing. So we're going to leave that at that. And we'll get into that on the weekend. So, but that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And we'll be back on the weekend with the lightning round, and we'll discuss Israel as well as some of the other things that are making waves in the news and things that are no longer as prevalent as they were the week before in the news, particularly the Biden crime family and all that is entailed with that. So, all right, so be good, stay safe, keep your head on a swivel. I'm out.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.